What happens when Hollywood's most legendary tough guy meets daytime television's most outspoken host, and neither one is willing to back down? You're about to witness one of the most explosive confrontations in television history, where respect collides with arrogance and where decades of experience clash with modern media politics. This isn't just another celebrity interview gone wrong. This is the moment when Clint Eastwood reminded everyone why you don't mess with a man who's been staring down opponents for over 60 years. Make sure you subscribe and let me know in the comments which side you're on, because what you're about to hear will have you picking sides from the very first exchange. The morning of the interview, producers at The View were buzzing with excitement. Clint Eastwood, the man who had defined masculinity for generations, was coming to their show. At 94, he remained as sharp and uncompromising as ever, with a new film project that had Hollywood talking. Joy Behar, known for her quick wit and even quicker temper, had been preparing for days, armed with questions that she believed would showcase her interviewing prowess. The studio audience was packed, sensing they were about to witness something special. Clint walked onto the set with that familiar measured stride, his presence immediately commanding the room. He wore a simple dark suit, his weathered hands steady as he took his seat across from the panel. Joy leaned forward, her eyes already gleaming with the kind of intensity that regular viewers knew meant trouble. "Clint Eastwood, welcome to The View," Joy began, her voice carrying that edge of superiority she reserved for guests she considered intellectually inferior. "I have to say, I'm surprised you agreed to come on our show, considering how different our audiences probably are." Clint's eyes narrowed slightly, a subtle shift that anyone who knew his films would recognize as a warning sign. "Well, Joy, I've always believed in talking to all kinds of people. That's how you understand the world." "That's interesting," Joy replied, her tone already becoming more confrontational. "Because from what I've seen of your movies and your politics, you seem to prefer a much simpler worldview. You know, the whole strong silent type, shoot first, ask questions later mentality." The other hosts exchanged glances. This was starting faster than anyone had anticipated. Clint remained perfectly still, his gaze fixed on Joy with the kind of intensity that had made him famous. When he spoke, his voice was low and measured. "I think you might be confusing movies with real-life, Joy. In my experience, the people who talk the most usually have the least to say." A murmur went through the audience. Joy's smile became more forced, her hands gesturing more dramatically as she pressed forward. "Oh, so now we're going to get the wisdom of Hollywood. Tell me, Clint, what qualifies you to lecture anyone about having something to say? You've spent your career playing cowboys and cops, and you've spent your career playing a character, too," Clint replied without missing a beat. "The difference is I know when the cameras stop rolling." The tension in the studio was now palpable. The other hosts looked uncomfortable, but Joy seemed energized by the conflict. She leaned back in her chair, her voice rising slightly. "Excuse me, are you suggesting that I'm not authentic? That I'm putting on some kind of act? I've been speaking truth to power for decades while you've been playing make-believe." Clint's expression didn't change, but something in his posture shifted. He sat up straighter, his hands folded calmly in his lap. "I'm suggesting that maybe you should listen more and lecture less. You invited me here as a guest, not as a target for your political theater." "Political theater?" Joy's voice was getting sharper now. "This is called journalism. Clint, maybe you're not used to actual questions instead of softball interviews, where everyone kisses your ring because you're some kind of legend." The audience was completely silent now, sensing they were witnessing something unprecedented. Clint's eyes never left Joy's face, and when he spoke, his voice carried the weight of decades of experience. "I've been in this business